It'd be so hard to go back and ride a 250 again. Like once you start riding a
I
450,
know, man.
once you start, man, it is so hard to go back.
You don't want to go back.
You don't want to go back at all.
But this little off-season excursion for him might, if he does end up doing the full, it wouldn't surprise me one bit whatsoever if I don't know how many races he's doing this off-season on it. That could have been it. Two?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it goes well. It would not surprise me at all if he's not just like, yeah, I'm not going back.
JB and AC, the energy was awesome. Those two are just like really finding their groove.
4 straight overall wins. $100,000. Adam Cianciarulla. Checkered flag and Justin Brayton. Cianciarulla has won 2019 World Motocross Championship. He's gonna do it to become the oldest winner in the history of Supercross.
Hello, everyone. We are back. A little bit of time off here on the AC and JB show, but we are so back. Excited to be back with you guys. Took about a few weeks off, did some traveling, but I'm telling you, these last 2 weeks, AC, we had to do a show. We got Sexton in Hawaii on a Kawasaki, which was unbelievable. We're going to talk about that. We got a Redbull KTM with a cable clutch on it with some number 3s. That looked pretty good. We got Prado. I think just today he posted he's getting frisky, jumping some quads on his new ride. Deegan raced to 450. But the main storyline in all this, the main storyline we have to get to, you are down under. You've been in Australia for a few weeks now. My man, how is it? Did I overhype it at all?
No, you didn't. You really didn't. I was carrying very high expectations into this trip, undoubtedly, because you've been in my ear about this since I've known you. Really, since I've known you. But it's been unreal, and I was able to find a white wall. Wanted some continuity in the podcast. We know how I do it when I'm at home. I actually took these pictures. There's some artwork behind me. Took them off the wall. So not our usual professional setup. I don't have the camera. But this offseason has been way too good for us not to do a show, like you said. But in terms of the trip, I was just telling my girlfriend, we were just at breakfast. I've got about 32 ounces of caffeine in me right now, feeling fantastic. I have to say, man, I was nervous. I was nervous about planning this trip, the flights, the Airbnbs, all that kind of stuff. Might not make a lot of sense to our audience. It seems like easy stuff, but like I said, it's not my wheelhouse. I feel empowered. I feel empowered right now because the Airbnbs I got, just where we stayed, what we've done on a daily basis. Ashley's helped me out with that, of course, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job. And I'm feeling more like an adult right now than I ever have in my life. I feel like Justin Brayton. I really do.
I love it.
But you definitely didn't oversell this place. We were on the Gold Coast for a couple weeks, and the biggest thing that stands out to me, and I don't know, maybe it's just being in Southern California. It's a crazy place to live. Dude, the people here, they're so unbelievably nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're so nice, dude. Like, what? You notice the same thing?
Oh, yeah. And especially right when they hear your accent, they're like immediately friendly, will ask questions, you literally feel like you've been friends with them for a long time. And then it honestly made me a nicer person, if that makes sense. Because now I'm like intrigued by this person's life. Like I'm asking questions now, and then you're in an hour conversation walking out of the coffee shop. Like it's just how it goes. So yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. There's some very friendly people down under.
Well, and it's different because I've been to other parts of Europe. I've been to England, Spain, Switzerland, a few other places, and you kind of get the vibe that some of the world almost, well, let's just put it how it is, thinks Americans are pretty stupid for the most part. I that's the vibe that I've gotten in other places. Not from everybody, but it's kind of like I don't know why. I was expecting kind of the same thing here, but yeah, very surprised. And it's very easy. Everybody makes you feel like a part of the community, makes you feel welcome. Mm-hmm. And so that on top of everything else we've been doing, this is a long amount of time to be gone. You know me, Justin, and my girl's the same way. It's like we're kind of homebodies. We're low key. We like our routine, and this has been a long time to have been away from home. I think we've been gone maybe 2.5, 3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I couldn't have picked a better place for it. It was unreal. And then getting to ride with you at the event in Sydney, that just kicked everything off to the next level. For our audience that didn't see our social media posts, JB and I were able to do like a little ahead of opening ceremonies. We did a little 3-lap duel. I ran it in on you a few times. I thought you were gonna flatten me out before the finish line, the last turn, last lap. You should have. But just being the gentleman that you are, you let me have it. It's first time in Australia, first time the fans are getting to see me ride. So it's very gracious of you, Justin.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I showed up. Well, we both showed up in Sydney. We're going to do some riding. So we rode press day, which was a ton of fun. That was awesome. Just riding for, I hadn't rode Supercross since Indianapolis or something during the year. You did a couple days. I was really impressed with you, though, man. I said this on our live show.
Come on.
That we had. I was impressed. You've been a factory racer since you were how old? 8?
7.
7. Okay, I was close. So you've been a factory rider. You've been the last several years at the very highest level, Monster Energy, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, then you're Monster Energy Kawasaki factory rider. You showed up and just rode basically Matt Moss's Penrite Kawi.
And it was sick.
That's what I mean. You jumped on and I was literally expecting like, dude, I don't know if I can ride this thing. There's no way I'm doing that triple. There's just no way. And you jumped on it. Dude, you look good right away. You're jumping everything right away. We were sizing up like different lines that the other guys were doing. And it was just a ton of fun, man. I just think that really started the trip off just awesome. And then we did a live show for the first time.
That was
Ben
cool.
Townley, Phil Nicoletti, Adam Bailey on as well. Like it just, that whole trip was super fun. And I was in and out. I was there for like 3 days, and then you've stayed ever since. And we haven't talked that much. So
no,
everyone at home listening or watching, literally we haven't spoke but a time or two through text since I left. So I'm getting all this info for the first time.
And that upsets me, JP. I am upset. I saw that you did I saw you did a race. I saw you did a race the other day. I slid in your DMs. I was like, dude, how'd it go? I miss you so much. I miss you dearly. Right. And then you just see the scene icon pull up. And I'm like, well, but he's probably busy, right? Like he'll get back to me at some point. Nothing, man. Nothing. Is this what it's come to? Are we just co-workers now?
Man. I've been grinding.
You have been grinding.
I went 1-1 in the plus 40 A class in East Bend, North Carolina.
Wow.
And I felt so good about it. I've just been training ever since. I've been hitting bicycle rides. I don't feel like A1's too far-fetched, so here we go.
Well, what are the odds that you and I both race the Australian Supercross Series next year? Because, I was just at breakfast, and Ashley was like, what if they wanted you to race next year? Like, how would you feel about that? We're great at it's just hypothetical, crazy questions all day long. Like, that's just how we do it
right now. Why?
Because the wheels have been turning in my head since I left. Like you said, I felt great, and I beat the 5-time Australian champion in a 3-lap sprint. I was, far and away the best guy. Far and away. I mean, talent to burn, dude. Downsides everywhere, inside, outside, just getting sideways over the finish line. So ever since then, I'm thinking to myself, if I can beat Justin Brayton, I can beat anyone. So is it time for me to get back out there? Realistically, the chances of me racing again in some capacity still feels low. I really, one thing, JB, we're getting off on a bit of a tangent here. I promise we'll actually start talking about some things, folks. But dude, I really got to get an MRI on my neck. I've been putting it off way too long. And dude, sometimes I can, like we rode a couple days in a row for Sydney. Next, 3 days, I can't even sleep on my right side, bro. I'm sleeping on my back.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sleeping on my back.
So from your shoulders.
I think it has to. I think it has to. I've had an epidural before. I've had a bulging disc somewhere up there, but last I checked, everything was good, but it's not feeling good. I really had to push it. Sydney. I wanted the W bad. I wanted it bad. And we've been hitting the Advil PM at night.
Well, as we sit here right now, I've got tingly all the way down to these two fingers. I got C6, C7 bulge disc. I mean, if you're talking about us racing next year, we better go in the operating room like ASAP.
That's exactly what I had. And I had an epidural ahead of my final season in racing, kind of as a last-ditch effort. Like maybe that's why my hand was messed up. Didn't fix anything. So we're back to the drawing board.
Surgery special in Australia. I know a good doctor over there, actually.
Yeah, you do. Shoulder guy, right?
He's kind of everything, yeah.
Everything? Yeah, we need to figure it out. Yeah, so odds of JB and I racing next year, somewhere in the 5 to 10% range.
Yeah, sounds pretty low.
What else has been going on since you've been ghosting me?
Well, the only reason I did that race was I took Beckham racing, his first ever race. It was awesome, dude. I had so much fun.
Right.
It was cool. There was about 18 to 20, 50, 7 to 8 kids, and then a couple more than that in the 50 open class. And we went 8-7 and 10-6 on the day.
I like that.
Not bad.
That's something to build on.
Yeah,
we have to start somewhere.
We're a good starter. We're a really good starter.
Really?
Somehow, some way. I don't know. He's never done a start in his life. He's
probably watched a lot of AC9 film.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be.
I'm kidding. You were supposed to laugh. Now I just feel like a dick.
No, you're a good starter. So, we did that. I just actually got back from the broadcast summit that you were able to attend last year because I was in Australia, and I was able to attend this year because you are in Australia. And, that was cool. It was a lot of fun. You know what I wish? I wish that some of that stuff that is exposed in those meetings. And so for everyone listening, basically we go down to Feld Entertainment, who obviously owns Supercross,
Tampa, Florida,
with the NBC, who's the partner from the broadcast side. We all go there, and you just you talk about the year that was, the year that is coming, the things we could do better, the things we did well, the things you can build on. NBC and Feld share information of just statistics and stats all over the place of viewership, and like everything's growing so much. And I wish the fans, I wish we'd peel back the curtain a little bit more. And I think we're gonna start, because if fans could sit in on those meetings, or if that was like a live thing, I don't know, it just got me stoked. Like everyone's kind of rowing in the same direction now, from MX Sports to Feld, which we've talked about that a bunch. But even like, I don't know, man, I just feel like the team is in a really good place. And I was excited to be there. So I didn't talk to you too much last year after you went to that, but you kind of had the same feeling, right? Like everyone's kind of rowing in the same direction.
Oh, absolutely. And that was I did do the broadcasting at the playoffs with you last year. Yep. But sitting down in that room, for one, Feld's headquarters in Tampa is super impressive, the whole deal. But it felt, for me, it was kind of a full circle moment, like sitting in that boardroom with all the executives, Dave Prater's in there, everybody from NBC, of course, our whole crew, Ricky, James, Lee Diffie. It was kind of a pinch me moment, and because, coming up through the sport with one goal of winning races and being a factory rider and doing all that, and then seeing the other side of it, seeing everything that has to go in to give the guys the platform that they have to race, is super exciting. And seeing to me, what got me most excited last year, and it sounds like you saw something similar, is it really is statistically, if you look at the numbers, I think a lot of people wonder if the sport is actually growing, or if that's just something that people say. And if you look at the numbers, it's pretty black and white. JB, is that, you see the same thing?
Yeah, no doubt. It's absolutely growing. I actually hope we could, or maybe they'll post the numbers or something, or make them public. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's growing, man. It truly is growing, and for several different reasons, but viewership's up. I think the the partnership with NBC and Peacock, where everything's at one place. You can go to Peacock and watch it all. I think that's obviously helped. And that there's no shortage of talent. Like I said in the meeting, I'm like, it's literally the best time to be a fan. It is so good right now. And we listed all the reasons why, and everyone knows the reasons why, but it's special for us to be in there. We missed you though. We talked about you a lot and wish you were there.
Oh, did you? Last year, I don't know if, of course, my first year rookie gig, I was, I'm low on the totem pole in there, but last year they do a good job of letting everybody kind of speak. If there's something on your mind, if you have any ideas from a marketing standpoint, and dude, I talked a lot last year. I talked a lot, man. I was throwing my hand up every 10 seconds and what about this? What about this? What about this? So I don't think I made too much of an a-hole of myself, but in general, one thing, I don't know if this was talked about at all, but I've been on this train since I was racing. Dude, let's get the rider's salary public. Let's get it public for some of the more casual fans, that's the people that are kind of just starting to get into it now, that we're starting to reach. They don't know if we're plumbers during the week, or if we have to work, I just think it would be really cool not to be like, oh, hey guys, this is how much money I make. I'm awesome. I'm better than you. But I think money is just a way of kind of, I don't know, it's like a credibility thing.
Oh yeah.
And to an extent, right? I mean, the way I was raised was you don't really talk about what you get paid. You don't talk about politics or but I think for the sake of the sport, I think it would be so cool. Like imagine if that number, whatever Jet just signed, that Honda deal. Imagine if that was public with that, the kind of that rumored number that we've heard that's pretty dang high. So I would like that to happen sometime in the next couple of years. You guys talk about that at all, or?
We didn't talk specifically about numbers, but the one thing that Weege has been big on for a while is just letting the broadcast team talk about the speculation, or even like a contract's up and these guys are talking. Or, hey, we knew that Chase Sexton had signed with Kawasaki months and months ago.
Long time ago.
I mean, we knew that, like, I guess we only can compare it to other motorsports. And obviously we try to compare to NFL and MLB. Like it's so far different. It's so far different. So we have to say like compare it to NASCAR or MotoGP or even F1. And Lewis Hamilton was leaving his team and signed with another team, and it was public like 12 months before he went to the other team.
And he was talking about it all year.
He was talking about it all year. So I think that would be huge, because this time of year, silly season, is the most fun thing to talk about. And as a fan of the sport, it's even fun for me. We know things long time ago, but it was still cool to see all this get announced. But I can't imagine a fan not knowing on the inside what we know. It is amazing to speculate. Oh my gosh, what? Like Eli might be on a KTM. Remember months ago when we were talking about that, that's awesome. So I feel like there's a bunch of steps, and we have to take the proper channels to make that happen. But getting the teams okay with potentially talking about that one day, I think could add some big intrigue to the sport of the what ifs, we're speculating Prado might get out of his contract and go back to his old team. If we could talk about this stuff halfway through the season and it not make a team look bad, that was kind of my only rebuttal, is what's in it for the team, I guess. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know, sometimes it might make a team look bad, but then the next year they might be getting one of those guys and it might shine a light on them. So I don't know. I think there's tons of different ways to look at it, but the salary thing would be cool. The main reason why is to legitimize our sport, because a 19-year-old Adam Cianciarulo, nobody knew, or if you're connected to the sport, you somewhat knew, but the person walking down the street or the person you sat next to on the airplane, they don't know if you make 40 grand, if you make any money, or if you make $1 million. They definitely don't think you make $1 million, which you were, but they're probably thinking, this kid's making 40 grand or something. So I don't know, it legitimizes the sport, I think, for people to see wow, these guys are making this much money.
Well, yeah. And I would love to hear our audience too, like what their opinion is. Please throw a comment down. Let me know what you think about that. Because yeah, that's our opinion. And for me, I remember when I was doing my plugged in podcast a couple years ago when I was still racing, I had Dave Prater on, and we talked about it a little bit.
That was
and
good.
yeah, I remember some of the comments kind of under there. It's pretty divided, it seems like, amongst fans. So let us know what you think, guys. I'm stoked, JB. I don't think we haven't put pen to paper yet, but it looks like you and I are going to be back in the booth next year at Race Day Live. How are you feeling about that?
We're back. I love it. I mean, you and I talk about it all the time, but literally, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on a Saturday night or Saturday doing Race Day Live. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but we're literally just like everyone else. I'm such a fan of the sport. I know you're such a student of the game and a fan of the sport. And even though we just were lucky enough to be able to wear a helmet on a Saturday night on a Supercross track, like, we're still the biggest fans. So now to be able to be a part of it on the inside, to be able to bring some great content to, into the houses or on Peacock throughout Saturday. And we're going to only continue to make that better and better ourselves and be better broadcasters, I guess. Yeah, I'm stoked, man. We had such a fun year. It feels like we've known each other for 10 years, but I mean, it's basically just over 12 months. So we've been doing this together. So it's been fun.
Just natural chemistry. I'm going to need you to bring some extra highlighters because we're 2 months out. We're over 2 months out from, are we? I don't even know. We're not. Or what are we? Month and a half away from Anaheim? That's crazy, bro.
Wild,
that's insane. But we're not even there yet, and I already forgot my highlighter and probably a pen. So I'm going to need you to bring those. I need you to bring those for me.
I had this drawer right here in my desk. This thing was full of highlighters. I got a couple.
I lost them all.
I'm going to need a restock.
All the ones you gave me.
Buy some stock in Sharpie or something because I'm about to buy the house.
It's ADD or ADHD. I blame one of those two things. We were just chatting about this the other day, but I've been trying to. My lady is very fashion driven. She went to art school. Like she really knows what she's talking about when it comes to fashion. So naturally, without her even saying anything to me, I have an okay sense of style. I like to keep it pretty simple. I like just wearing black pants. Like I don't do anything crazy. Not like some of these kids these days that pull off these crazy fits better than I ever could. But we did just talk. We're going to make a big run. I'm going Fashion Island, Orange County, and maybe I've talked about this on this podcast before. But I have the casual everyday outfits down now. Like my whole closet, since Ashley and I started dating, I have essentially thrown everything I had before away. And my day-to-day style is good, solid right now. But on the business front, the business casual wear, suit game is dialed. But I feel like I need to show up to media days, Friday, press days. I feel like I got to show up in a collared shirt too. I feel like I might even start traveling in collared shirts. It's just like one of those deals, just dress for the job you want, I really want to take it to the next level next year. And her love for fashion is starting to rub off on me. So I may surprise you next year.
I like that.
I may surprise you.
I like that.
I'm excited about it.
I'm going to need a collared shirt underneath a jean jacket at some point when we go back east.
Oh, wow.
In the cold.
A jean jacket.
Yep.
I think I'm out.
Maybe a button down. Here you go. A button down, hooded, nice shirt underneath a jean jacket. Let's go.
I don't know. I'm willing to try anything. Fashion wise once. At least once.
You're about to drop some bennies in at Fashion Island. You better bring a bunch of them with you.
That is one thing. I've been spending too much money at malls and stuff around here.
Speaking of spending money, that's a great transition. Speaking of spending money, your old team Kawasaki spent some money to get those boys over to Hawaii for that press drop.
I think it was Monster.
Think so?
I think Monster fronted. Well, Kawi had to have spent some money shipping a bike up, but I think in terms of the track, I was reading a interview Sexton did with our buddy Steve Mathis. Yeah, I think Monster fronted some of that bill, but that was super cool because
It was
it really
amazing.
is. It's such a big. Obviously, Chase is a huge name in the sport now, and I feel like that news required something big and different like that. And Chase and his buddies, like, I don't know if Levi Kitchen went this year, but there's a whole group, Tom Vialle, all these guys are going to Hawaii in the off season for like, even, I think Chase was there 3 weeks, 4 weeks, which is, it's kind of cool that Chase is relaxed enough in a short off season, like a very short off season, where I would be like, dude, I got to get back. I got to start, I got to get on the bicycle. Oh my God. It's cool that he's experienced enough now, has enough base fitness, and he's okay kind of starting everything later. But I thought back to the Kawi announcement, I loved what they did there. I really did. It was so cool. It was totally Chase's vibe. We know he's into surfing and kind of loves the water, things like that. I felt like they did not miss the mark there. I thought that was great. And yeah, they're going to be spending. I saw he also signed a 3-year deal.
Yeah, that's
which
cool.
that'll be
I like
nice.
that.
Some continuity for Chase.
Yeah.
3 years. I saw in the interview with Steve, he said he wanted to find a home. He was tired of leaving teams. And hey, he's under the same roof as me, brother. Team Green, let's go.
Yep. I like it. And the biggest reason I like that launch that they did, it fit Chase so well. Like I just think Hawaii and Chase are so, I don't know, they're so connected because Chase on the podium when he leaves, he'll always do like the hang loose
Oh yeah.
thing, which is kind of like a Hawaii vibe. He obviously surfs, like you mentioned, he goes there quite a bit. So I thought it was great. It was really, really cool. So yeah, well
And that's
done,
the move.
well done Kawasaki and Monster.
That's the move that you've been most excited about
I have.
for a long time. Even
Yep.
talking to you off air, dude. You are fully
I like
on
that
board
one.
this Kawi and Chase program.
Yep.
And
I think the timing. Go ahead.
no, the timing, like you said, obviously it couldn't have gotten any worse for Kawi. Starting with me, to be honest with you, I was supposed to be the guy that came in there and won. I was supposed to be the RV type that came through the ranks, went to PC, they spent a lot of money. I was supposed to be that guy. My boy got upstairs. We had different plans, but now it's on Chase. Didn't go well with Prado. Anderson left, and I feel like both of them right now are so desperate to win that I think Kawi is as desperate to win as Chase is. And Chase is just naturally built that way. We've talked about it plenty of times. He's a competitive, bit of a psycho, bit of a freak, which you need that. I think for Chase, I think it mostly works to his advantage. So I think it comes down to, can people work well together? I think somebody like Chase could win on any motorcycle in the pits, pretty much. Can win on any motorcycle. And it's can everybody be on the same page? And like we talk about with Honda, rowing in the same direction. Of course, there's stuff like, we know Kawi's a stable motorcycle. We think it fits what Chase does really well. But more than anything, long-term success to me is if those guys can get along, be rowing in the same direction. It keeps the vibe up. It's easy to stay motivated. It's easy to come to work. I like those personalities meshing right now specifically.
Yeah. And most things in life, as we all know, is about timing. No matter when you meet your spouse. Oh, like we talk about a lot. If I would have met Paige when I was 4 years younger, maybe we don't end up together because she's in a different spot in life and I'm in a different spot. But the timing was just perfect, and here we are. Same with probably you and your girlfriend, and like the list goes on and on and on. I just think this is the perfect timing for all the reasons that you said. And I think Chase has matured a ton. When we had him on the show during the summer, you could just hear it in his voice, how he's trying, he's wanting to get better, and he's under a microscope. That's the thing that's most difficult for Chase is he's the one guy that we all know can challenge Jet, and that's the standard we hold him to all the time. And sometimes he crashes doing it, and the standard is just that high. So sometimes it might be unfair, but I do think we're going to see the best version we've ever seen from Chase Sexton. I love that he did a 3-year deal, especially coming off the heels of what he just experienced. So to believe in a new team as much as he has in Kawasaki, I think that says something. I think he's already initially saying, no, those are my guys. I'm going to make sure they're my guys. And I think Kawasaki's the same way, because what's the other choice? Like, you kind of have to make it work at this point. So I think it's a match that's going to we're going to be talking about for obviously a few years now. I think he's going to win a lot of races. The hardest part, and we'll talk about Tomac next, the hardest part is Jet Lawrence. He's just so darn good. And for any of these guys to beat Jet, I just don't know if it's possible. So that's the hard part. And the standard for a guy like Eli or for a guy like Chase is wins and championships. And when they don't get that, they come up short. It's a failure of a season most of the time, and they get scrutinized for it. And I don't think that's fair, but that's just the standard they're held to. But I think we will see the best version of Chase. I do.
So you're normally a guy that says it takes 12 months or longer to get used to a new motorcycle, new team, new test tracks. 8 to 12. Okay, 8 to 12. So are we bypassing that? Is this such a perfect fit that Chase Sexton is going to come in and just blow everybody's doors off?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that Chase will be better on the Kawasaki in 8 months from now than he will be in January. But if the standard is championships, he's going to have to get off to a good start. Same with Eli. I mean, I think Eli's going to have a little more difficult of a time. Now, dude, I might be retracting some of these statements about Eli because he looks good in these videos. He looks good. I know we can't take anything from that. If history repeats itself at all, which most of the time it does, there's so many Insta bangers that we see. We're like, oh, that guy looks good. But I'll tell you, Eli looks really good on the KTM. But, yeah, I mean, he's going to be better in 8 months than he is in January. Is he good enough in January to be there with Jet to win races? That's to be determined. But I don't think he's going to learn. I think he'll continue to learn the motorcycle. And the reason I say this, the reason I say 8 to 12 months to get to their very best on that motorcycle is a couple things. The first thing is just the language that the team and the rider use amongst each other. You're going to explain your forks much different than I explain my forks, much different than Chase explains his forks. So how does that suspension technician get our information and get the proper change done? That takes time, right? I mean, it just does.
Yeah,
same with engine builder. Like, I'm going to explain bottom end connection probably different than you explain it, and so on and so on and so on, and everything on the motorcycle. So that takes a little time. And then expanding on that is, you've seen the dirt conditions that Tomac's riding at KTM. I mean, he looks prime. Like, I would love to go ride those conditions.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Colorado home, so there's two conditions there. Same with Chase. He's going to ride in Florida and California. That's nothing like Indianapolis. That's nothing like some of these other tracks we go to. So I think that's why it takes a little bit of time and learning to be their very best self. Now, maybe they're good enough to win at A1 or win at San Diego or early in the season. That's to be determined. But I'm so excited to see these guys when the gate drops. It's going to be so fun.
Well, I think a different angle analysis on Chase. We talk about, I mean, we know in general the sport is so mental, regardless of who you are. But I think for Chase specifically is, how does he, remember this year, and really years prior too, he's had that, we looked at the stats this year, I remember talking about an RDL, the middle part of the series, he's had that slump where you have a couple bad races, and it's easy to kind of, man, when you work as hard, there's nobody, I mean, really, that you could say that about any of the top 5 guys or so. It's hard to work harder than Tomac or Chase or Jet. If anything, it's all about how you work. It's working smarter. Everybody's willing to do whatever it takes, and they do on a daily basis. I mean, that it has to be your number one priority in life, period. Like, period. And the guys that win consistently are all doing that. But it's about working smarter. And I think mentally for Chase, what I've seen, I've talked about his strength as being a psycho competitor, wanting it so bad. The hardest part of that, and I'm leaning on my own experience at times where I was in good form and I had potential to win. And of course, I'm not Chase. But the hardest part, especially when you're going up against somebody like Jet Lawrence, man, is that no matter how hard you work, no matter how good you are if you're Chase, no matter how good the bike is, like, you are going to have bad races. And Jet is just going to beat you sometimes. And sometimes it might be pretty bad. And sometimes it might look so unbelievably easy for Jet to do that when someone like Chase or Eli is struggling. But specifically for Chase, to me, fixing that slump in the middle is finding a way to be more okay with losing. Sometimes it's hard. I mean, it's kind of like an oxymoron a little bit, but you have to want it enough to put everything into it. And then when you're just not that good, take one out of new Hall of Fame inductee Chad Reed. He was great at this. It's like he would go and get beat by 40 seconds and he would just let it roll off him. And then he would come out the next week and win. I think for someone like Chase, I think that's his demon that he has to conquer, is when that does happen, when the inevitable happens and you get beat, can you find a way to just be like, to focus back on the process and say, I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do. Maybe I have to change it. Maybe I have to adjust it a little bit, but I did everything I was supposed to do. It didn't work out. That's the end of it. Moving on. To me, the guys like Dungey, Villapoto, Carmichael, these guys have gone on these crazy runs, kind of like, Jet's had some injuries lately. So, obviously didn't win the Supercross title last year. But to me, he has that temperament where he can roll off him. And he can just wake up on Monday, leave it behind him, keep going. To me, that's what's standing in Chase's way of being a guy that could go and win a few championships in a row. I think mentally is just finding a way to get through those times where it's not going great and it have less of an effect on you mentally. That's the best way I can describe it. If Chase can get over that hump, I think we're going to see, because we've seen it. We've seen it even this year. Think back to Washougal, first moto at Ironman. We know that Chase can do it on any given night, but can he consistently bring that? That's what he's going to have to do, barring injury or anything crazy, in order to beat Jet on a consistent basis. So can he do that? To me, it doesn't really matter what bike he's on or what he's doing. If he can do that, he can win. And if he can't, he can't. So to me, that's the hump that we're talking about Chase getting over. And you and I have both seen the signs. Even talking to him, he appears more even-keeled, level-headed. He knows that. What I just said, he knows all that. Absolutely. But it's another thing to actually do it. And that's why there's so few Chase Sextons of the world, Jet Lawrence's, Eli Tomac. It's hard to do. So I'm excited to see if he can put it all together. And even if it takes a year on a new bike, I think it's fine. I think you use it as use it as an exercise of like, look, I'm going to do my best, whatever it is, period. Move on.
I think those two things are somewhat connected though. Like having a good group of people that you trust around you, which, Chase has unfortunately started to not get along with two of his prior teams, and that starts to surface, and then he's struggling with the bike.
Yeah.
Then we're midway through the season, and then you live and die your identity. You live and die by it during the week. So then you start to get bummed. You start it's this snowball, So I think if he can start this relationship on good, and you have to start the relationship with so much respect for each other that I think that could help that slump, So I think everything's sort of connected. And like every sports team that goes on a run, or everyone you just mentioned, those teams, like we have to look at Honda right now. That team is so glued together. If Jet goes and if he struggles at Anaheim 1 like he did last year, they weren't even worried. They were all together like, all right, we're getting back to work. We're in this thing together. And I've never sensed that from Chase, where the team and everyone, and he's believed in them and they totally believe in him. And it's like,
Yeah.
they fully work together. If he has that at Kawasaki, he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be really, really good.
Well, and again, when you're talking about the standard right now, which is Jet, everyone in the pits knows that everybody in Honda is on the same page. And that goes with, we talk about Darren, Dazzy as well. And Kier, Chase's dad, is a big part of his program. He's been there from the very beginning. And I think he is essential to Chase's program as well. And he's bound, like many, many dads that have sacrificed their entire lives for their son, they're bound to have strong opinions on what direction this way should go, the bike should go, or the training should go, or the testing and all this stuff. So like you said, at the end of the day, it comes down to mutual respect. And one thing I will say about Chase before we move on to Tomac, you don't get to be where Chase Sexton is without learning from your failures, learning from your mistakes. You don't. He didn't just fall into being one of the best guys in the world. It doesn't happen. You don't fall in. You don't luck into doing what he's done. So if I was a betting man, I would say that he was going to figure it out. So we've got a lot to look forward to there. And he's got a new teammate, Marchbanks.
He does.
I like that. I love that from Marchbanks.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have any no excuses on the starts.
Nope.
For Garrett. No excuses now. I don't even know how he did as good as he did on 250 at 195, 200 pounds or whatever, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Garrett to have that opportunity. I think he's come a long way since he turned pro. Mentally, physically, he's in shape. He's fast. I don't think he's scratched the surface on what he can do. So hopefully he can stick around there for a while and kind of build into something even better than he is now.
Yeah, I think he will. He's got the right support. He'll be able to see Chase during the week to, try and strive for that. I've practiced with Garrett a lot down at Club MX. I'm telling you, man, his weekly speed is unbelievable. Like he got it. He's got it. He's a high level guy, and to be on that level, of team with that level of teammate to strive for is going to pay dividends for Garrett. So yeah, I think he'll do great. Look, he's been on the podium in motocross before. I don't think it's we could list 10 guys that could potentially be on the podium, but I don't think it's far-fetched for him to get a podium in Supercross. I think he can get one.
That. I like that, JB. Let's talk about Tomac, dude. I saw the team intro video, and anytime you got Tomac on the head nod program, smiling, he is stoked. And
or the turn down, the little turn down.
The little elbow.
It's
so good. So good. Dude. He's sitting his butt on the edge of the seat like this. He's got the head cockeyed, clutch. Like, dude, I'm stoked to see Eli there. And I thought it was cool what he said. I think there's already a lot of respect there from his camp, his dad, himself, with Ian Harrison and Roger. Ian Harrison and Roger, those two have some of the best reputations in the sport, specifically too when it comes to the desire to win and what they will do logistically to make the rider happy. And even some of the stories I heard, with them trying to accommodate Chase, there's not a whole lot that they won't do in order if they believe in the direction as well. And I think those two guys, especially just where Eli is at in his career, he's obviously has the respect of the entire industry. So I think John and Eli, because you can't discount John's involvement at all. He's huge. I think those two paired with Ian and Roger, it could be really good, dude. I know we kind of had some questions on if the bike is going to suit the way Eli rides. But like you said, dude, he's got the cable clutch. He's already got it. He's got the. We're off to a good start.
Yeah. Talk about mutual respect. They have the utmost mutual respect for each other. You can just tell the way they talk about each other. And I love what Ian Harrison said in an interview. We've been trying to beat this guy for years, and now he's on our team. They seem really happy together. I mean, Tomac he's obviously super motivated. He wants to win. He believes he can win there. And just the little stuff, there's like, you and I, we can see things that the average person maybe can't because we've been there and done that. And just little things like the way he is able to hop out of the whoops, the way he just posted a video on his Instagram where he missed one of the whoops and hit his front wheel on like the third whoop. And that, like, those are things you cannot do unless you absolutely trust your motorcycle and know your motorcycle. So if he's already feeling that way, I don't know. I was looking, it was nothing against the capabilities of the motorcycle or of Eli, where I'm like, man, I wished he would have stayed on Yamaha. It wasn't that at all. It was more just like the learning period again on something so different than he's ever ridden. I mean, so different. So, but I don't know. I'm getting more and more on board, mainly because of their eagerness to work with each other, their eagerness to change. I mean, not long ago, Cooper Webb was there and they didn't want to change much. And now they would change anything for Chase, and they're going to change anything for Eli. So similar to Kawasaki and Chase, this is a similar matchup. Like KTM, Chase did make them look good actually at a few races. It was like unbelievable. Like, why would you ever get off that motorcycle?
Yeah, for real, dude.
But just the relationship didn't go well. So now to have a relationship like this, to win, I mean, they're going to do everything in their power. I think both parties are going to do everything in their power to make it happen. And I didn't think that I'd like the number 3 on the KTM. I just thought it would look so weird. I thought the Red Bull helmet on Eli Tomac would look so weird. Dude, it doesn't look that weird. Like it looks good. It looks good.
It looks good. It does. It really does. Yeah, I think the one thing that I will say about the bike, I've never ridden a KTM in my life, but something that a lot of the guys that ride them talk about, and maybe you can talk about this a little bit because you had a little stint on KTM. I know it's been a while, but some of the characteristics of the frame are pretty similar. The bike doesn't move a lot. Like it's a pretty dead motorcycle. Am I right in saying that? Because I remember watching Cooper Webb, and that's where he kind of got his start cutting down low and all the corners. And to me, it's like he was never waiting on the motorcycle. He wasn't getting into the turns, the forks compressing down, then waiting for them to rise, and then getting on the gas. Like I think it's a very balanced motorcycle. And I like that for Tomac with kind of his old school style, where he comes into the turns really hot, brakes really hard and short, and we know he's on the clutch in the turns, kind of dumping the clutch, getting on the gas. And that was something on a Kawasaki. We talked about it a lot, even Yamaha as well. He would have to jack the back end up and make it so stiff in order to handle that on exits of the turns to get him to finish his corners. Because if Eli were to run my setup and ride the way he rides on a Kawasaki, the back end would sink so low on exit of the turn that the front gets high. Then you end up going, and then you're in the tough blocks. Like I was there a few times. We've all been there. But I kind of like, because of his style, I like the fact that the bike's a little bit more on the dead side. It doesn't move so much. And that's something that Eli talked a lot about when I was teammates with him, is just trying to get the bike to move less. And so I think at least that aspect suits him. Probably the bike's probably a little bit less stable than what he's used to, Yamaha, Kawasaki. But in terms of turns, and I think turns are more important now in Supercross than ever, because every single track we go to, except Glendale, has 15 ruts in every turn and get tighter and tighter as the main event goes on. What do you think? Am I somewhere on base there?
Yeah, it's been so long since I've ridden one. It's really so hard for me to tell, because I signed there. Well, I rode there in 08 and 09 and actually loved it. I mean, that bike's long gone now. I mean, we didn't have a linkage then, but I actually didn't mind it.
It had the white bell helmet. I remember the whole setup.
Oh, yeah.
But
I didn't know any better then. You know, I was so green. It was my first kind of factory team, and anything was good, dude.
Just happy to be there.
Happy to be there. So then when I went back to KTM, when Dungy was there and I was on the satellite team, me and Shorty were on BTO. We're getting similar parts and similar stuff, but I didn't gel with it at all. I didn't have access to certain parts and such. So, but I like what I'm seeing. And look, all these motorcycles are good. It comes down to people. Most things now, it literally comes down to the people. And I think they're going to work great with each other. I think they're going to have a ton of respect for each other, like we said. So I'm higher on this than I was before I seen him on the bike, for sure. I just thought it was going to be so much change. Now there will be struggles for sure. I mean, you go racing, there's always some struggles. Things start to highlight themselves, and with everyone switching bikes and teams, just how big are those struggles and how quickly can they get them under control?
Yeah, we love it. I'm glad you're coming around because you were starting to become a bit of a Tomac hater.
No way. Don't say
head.
that.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
say that, dude.
No, I'm just kidding.
No way.
I'm just kidding. How do we feel about Tom Vialle going back to MXGP? It's kind of like, we've talked about it on here before, but I get it. I'm the one, I remember talking about it during the summertime, and I said something about just use the Sky Miles, like, gotta do it. But I'm surprised that he at least didn't give it a shot. You know? Is he really just, you think?
He'll be back. Yeah. He'll be back.
Really?
I think and I don't know. I don't know Tom at all. I've talked to him a few times. Super nice dude. Have a ton of respect for him. He gets it done when he has to. 2-time Supercross champ. Who would have thought that? Like, he's awesome.
Me.
I think this deal, I think it's just bad timing. I think it's bad timing. I don't think there was a 450 factory seat that really suited him right now as far as a multi-year deal for the money that he probably earned, the money that he should have made. And I think that factory Honda seat in Europe was a lot of money, and he could go back home for a little bit. And I think we'll see him back here in a few years. I do. I think he's racing Paris Supercross this weekend on a 450, and I think he'll do races like that throughout the next couple years, stay on the radar. And as soon as the Tomacs and Roczens and Malcolms and Webbs and these guys are all, there's a big changing of the guard here coming.
Shoot, I might come back for that one.
Barsha, Ferrandis, like, there's so many of them that I think Vialle's back on a factory 450 team in 2028, 2029, right around there.
Because I was looking at it more of like it was a decision, because he had, won a couple Supercross championships, had a good 250 career. I assume that he probably had a decent ride lined up here, but I guess you bring up a valuable point. Like, maybe he just didn't.
Well, I think he had an offer from KTM, a 1-year deal, though. That's the hardest thing. Like, this. You can't take your first year 450. You cannot take a 1-year deal.
No
shot.
Absolutely not. It's probably for pennies too. That is something that really makes me mad sometimes, is when I hear some of these numbers that these guys are riding for, that it's just way too low, bro.
Yeah.
It's just way too low. I get it. Look, we're not the NFL. It's not like the teams and everybody's just sitting on a bunch of money somewhere and just not handing it out. I get it's just the way it works. Mm-hmm. But goodness gracious almighty, 31 races and some of these numbers, it's a good living. Don't get me wrong. And like, these guys know how lucky they are too. You don't hear them complaining about it, but I'll complain for them, man, because some of these guys are worth I don't know. We could get into the argument of what people deserve and whatnot. It gets very subjective and weird, but anyway.
I think it's a good conversation. Let's hash that one out real quick. It won't be long, but like, let's just say you're a team. Vialle probably wasn't the best or fastest 250 racer this year to win the championship.
Yeah, no.
So what do you pay him, and do you sign him for a multi-year deal? Like, you have to think about, and I'm not sticking up for either side. I'm just like trying to back into this on like, okay, what's fair market value for a 2-time Supercross champ moving up? Like, all of them are different. It's a sliding scale.
Yeah,
if you win 250 titles and you're going to the 450, you're $1 million+ guy, because they see the writing's on the wall. Like, you're going to just continue winning. But Vialle, the struggles were sort of there, I don't ever want to
Yeah.
say he lucked into a championship because he earned both of them. There's no doubt about it. But he's not $1 million+ guy for multi-years. He's just, unfortunately not. And
Well,
so what is he, a
I got
$400,000 guy? And then it's not enough. You know what I mean?
I got nothing against Vialle, and we've had this conversation before. Like, he is 100% the deserving champion, but he
No doubt.
definitely lucked into the last one.
Yeah.
RJ cleaning out Hammaker.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say, and it's, I don't know. That becomes a whole different argument of like, remember the argument we were having of like, is the fastest guy the best guy when we were talking about Cooper and Chase and all this? Whatever. I mean, he won 2 championships, but you have to, for sure, teams don't look at it. It's not like you win. Not all championships are created equal.
100%. That's it. Yeah.
And so if I'm a team, what am I willing to pay Vialle? And look, I don't know the capital that I'm sitting on. I don't know what my marching orders are from Austria or whoever else. But what would I be comfortable paying Tom? I think.
And remember, at the time, you have Chase and you have Aaron Plessinger.
Yeah.
Who's now won a couple races.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really give him any more than like, with those guys still there, 350.
Exactly, and that's just not enough.
So no, it's not. What do you think he's making a Honda? Like 1.5?
No, I don't think that much. I was going to say.
Well, I don't know how the structure is over there. Don't they? There's no bonus money over there, right? So I thought they went higher on salary.
I think they get top 3 bonuses, but they don't get any.
Oh, do they?
Like from the track.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Do I need to start? I feel like I maybe need to start paying attention to the GPs. Like, I have major respect for those guys. So I've talked about it. Our audience knows. It's like I get my fill of dirt bike racing kind of with what we have going on. But I think now that Tom is going over there, I'm curious to see kind of his career arc. So maybe I'll, for the first time in my life, purchase the MXGP subscription and watch it.
Those guys are good, man. They're good.
Speaking of racing, World Supercross this past weekend, Argentina. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about. Well, I guess we'll start at the top. 94, Ken Roczen. The guy, this is just, I love to see, and I was talking to Ken. I was talking to him last week, texting, or no, I think it was right after the race, actually. And you know how, Ken, like when he won and he's in out there, and he was just, what's up, what's up? He's a man, dude. But I love to see the guy living his best life. Like living his best life, and that's what he does. His ability to go to any environment whatsoever, and regardless of how the track is, just figure it out. It's going to be, even for, I think, Tomac's doing some of those races, it's going to be really hard for anybody to beat Ken. I feel like that's his element. 3 kind of shorter races. We know he's very explosive, good on the start, good in the first laps. The whoops. Him and the whoops this weekend. Unbelievable,
Incredible.
dude. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, is anyone better in the world than Ken Roczen for the first 7 to 10 laps of a race? No. I mean, I think even like Jet and Chase and Eli, they would all say that. Like, he's unbelievable.
And Jet, maybe if he had a gun to his head, but Jet is way more chill in the first 3 laps because ultimately he knows he's going to win most of the time if he just gets through the first laps without doing anything crazy. So he kind of takes his time these days, which made Vegas playoffs fun to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, that's kind of what I expected from Ken. And I think that everybody that was racing him, that's also what they expected. But before we move on to Deegan, because of course that is the big storyline.
That is,
Justin Cooper, shout out to, is it O'Neill?
Yeah.
His gear? I thought his gear was sick, dude.
It looked good, yeah.
Yeah, the blue stripes and all that.
Argentina.
Dude, how many races does Justin, or maybe does he win a race, or how many races does he win? He's just got to be average in the whoops. He's just got to be average. He's got to follow the Cooper Webb game plan, and Cooper Webb knows this. Cooper knows that he is as good as he's going to get in the whoop section, and that is good enough, clearly, to be a 3-time champion.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that race. I was watching Jay Coop in one of the mains behind Kenny, and he kept them pretty honest. And Kenny was probably gaining 3 bike lengths in the whoops every lap.
At
So,
least.
Justin Brayton, tell me if I'm Justin Cooper right now, give me a program from now until Anaheim 1 to be better in the whoop section. Give me a program right now. Like I just Venmo'd you. I don't know. What's your rate? Probably 50,000 for some advice. You're big guy these days. I've seen your backyard.
More than
tell me what's his program?
Well, I don't know, man.
Come on.
I don't know. Look, it's no secret. I went down there during Supercross. You know this.
Oh, we're talking about it now. I'm just happy we're talking
in the
about
whoops, and I've seen it. That's the hard part, Adam.
Yeah.
I've seen him go through whoops in gnarly cupped out whoops as fast, maybe not as fast as anyone, but well above average. And I think something happens halfway through the race. They start to get a little bit cupped out. Something happens where, dude, he just comes into them so slow. It's literally that simple. He comes into them so slow, and then he makes some mistakes. He's hitting each whoop way lower than a guy like Kenny or Jed or anyone else that he's trying to beat. He's way lower on the whoop, which makes his bike react weird. He makes mistakes, and then he goes to jumping. So literally rinse and repeat. It's rinse and repeat. But he can, one last thing. He does jump them so well on certain types of whoops, he can get away with it. And he will win a race or 2 or 3 in his career, and they will be from a jump line that has been created that he jumps through them best. And the skim line isn't as good as, or like it's not leaps and bounds better than that jump line. So I don't know. I mean, it's just going to take commitment from him. I do know that he's been trying to skim more at the practice track, and he's been pretty good at him, but practice track at this point, he's going to have to prove it on Saturday night when it matters.
My thing is, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to have a set of whoops at the practice track that are emulating maybe one of the tougher sets that you would see in, say, a Pittsburgh this past year in Supercross, and hit those whoops every single day with 10 other dudes on the track. Yeah. It's honestly not very smart. Most of the time, guys that are really good, guys that know on whatever the whoops are on Saturday, guys like Ken, Chase, Jet, they know that they're going to be one of the best guys through them. They can, during the week, they can eliminate some risk and ride with whoops that are a little smaller, because at that point, you're just kind of enforcing technique. Whatever the whoops are on the weekend, they're not going to be scared of them. They've seen everything. They've done everything. But yeah, I guess the discussion would be, it's like, how do you build confidence? Like, if you're Jay Coop, clearly the guy's unbelievable. Like, clearly it doesn't surprise me that you've seen him hit the whoop so well. But yeah, that's also just something I was thinking about kind of on my own time, is like, what is the prescription for being better in the whoops? Do you think it's a technique thing for Jay Coop, or is it simply a confidence issue where you start coming in slower, and then when you come in slower, it makes the whoops feel 10 times harder, and that really keeps you from coming into the whoops faster? So you think he's got the technique? Like, he doesn't look super far back on the bike, which normally for someone that doesn't have confidence in the whoops, that's the first thing you're going to see, is they're too far back. He looks like he's pretty neutral on the bike. His feet are in the right spot. So you think it's just a matter of confidence? Because I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, when he gets there, he's going to be a guy. He's going to win.
Yeah,
he's going to win. Justin Cooper is going to win.
Yeah, he'll win without getting there in the whoops. I do believe that. I think they'll be certain acts, like I said. But to be elite, a championship contender, he's that capable. He would have to be an elite whoop rider, and I don't know if he'll ever get there. I do think it's just a confidence thing.
Yeah,
and
we can't all be Justin Brayton, man.
No, look, I don't even put myself on Jay Coop's level of like his.
No, I know you don't, bro.
Is like his ability is to be race winning, and not very many people. There's less than a handful of guys on this planet that can match Jet Lawrence in a qualifying session at Supercross, and Jake is one of them.
For real.
Like almost every weekend he's up there. And we'll watch him in the whoops on RDL, and we're like, wait, what? He just lost like half a second or a second in the whoops, and he's still fastest.
Again,
yeah.
I mean no disrespect whatsoever, Justin Cooper. He's so good. He could not change anything, and he's still one of the best guys in the world, going to be making a lot of money for a long time, still going to win races, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched that race this weekend, and I saw that, and I was like, dude, he's so close to making that next step where he's there. He eliminates those weekends where he gets 6th or 7th, where he's close to a podium, if not on the podium most nights. He's so good in the turns.
One of those races, he had just passed Hayden, and Hayden blew back by him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whoops.
Yeah.
That's
okay. We'll move on. Jay Coop. We all know I'm a big fan of Jay Coop. I don't mean to be negative about the whoop thing.
He knows it though. I mean, everyone knows it. He's trying to work.
Look, but I've been there. I've been there, dude. My last 2 years, I was doubling through the whoops, bro. No confidence whatsoever. So, guys, I am not on my high horse in any way, shape, or form. Let's talk about Hayden Deegan. Missed the gate pick. Dude, we've all been there. For me, it was like I think it was a local race. But there is nothing like your heart just sinking to your belly button when you find out you miss your gate pick. All the way outside too for all 3 races. Dude, that's brutal. They do it there.
It's way different than a normal gate pick. You pick your gate like early in the day, like right after qualifying, and then there's a break, and then you start your racing. So it's not like, for folks watching or listening, it's not like a Supercross heat race where we go up and you got pick 1 and you're picking your gate, and pick 2. He didn't miss that gate pick. He missed like literally they picked their gate after qualifying. And I don't know if he didn't know. I don't know.
That's crazy. Sure. Yeah, that's what they said. Sure, I think. I don't know. I looked on my AI. I took credit at the beginning of the show for being a great travel agent. I have this app called Grok in my phone. Yeah. It's like Chat GPT or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like one of my best friends, basically. And Grok told me before I logged onto this podcast that, nobody had told him. Nobody had told him that he needed to go down and pick his gate. So, but on the bright side, podium and just watching him ride, I think, and I said this after, I think I tweeted this, Washougal first moto, maybe. But watching him out there, guy, obviously so much hype, anticipation, pressure to do well. Is he going to be as good as Jed? Is he going to be as good at the next level? And dude, he's out there just like whipping it like a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Just like a photo shoot, dude. Mm-hmm. Like no cares in the world, full meta militia style. And I thought to myself, watching, kind of made a mental note in my head. He's like, to me, that perfectly encapsulates why he has been so good and he's going to continue to be so good. And of course it's the skill on the bike. Of course it's the program, the work ethic, everything else, but just his disposition of not caring, of just not caring and just doing him. Like, it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do when you've been living your whole life in a fishbowl and, the fans are with you, they're not with you, they're with you. And 19 years old, and he just doesn't care, man. He really doesn't. And that, to me, is an encapsulation of that. Just whipping it over the jumps. Like, dude, I thought he looked really good. I thought he looked good. And even when things weren't going great, it's not like he looked aggressive, but he never looked like he was riding over his head or trying to get too much out of it. He just looked solid. And I thought it was kind of a perfect debut for him. I know some of you may think that I'm a Hayden Deegan hater after my Vegas SMX analysis, right? Like I've taken some heat. I had some pretty crazy DMs after that one, but no, I'm not a Hayden Deegan hater at all. And I think it was a great weekend for him, man.
Yeah, it was cool. I love what he's saying too. Like he's racing guys that he idolized and Ken and Jason and
paying homage.
And these guys, like I think his I think his attitude is spot on. No one knew which direction he would go. If you start to call people out and this and that, I don't know how well that would go. But I liked it. I thought he looked good as well. I did. I thought he looked really good. Obviously, if he doesn't miss that gate pick, he starts a little bit better. I would love to see him get up there a little more with Jay Coop and Kenny just to see. And who knows if he could take a tow with Ken and go with him, and would like to see that. We're going to see that at some point. But I thought it was cool. It's cool to see him out there. I like the Fox gear. Fox gear looks good. And I think it's a good pairing, I guess, between Hayden and Fox.
Yeah,
I think
I
they'll do a
agree.
lot of cool things
Creatively.
together. Yeah, good little collab. And seeing
Boosts
him on
were
a
sick.
450, I don't know. Like putting myself in his shoes, it'd be so hard to go back and ride a 250 again. Like once you start riding a 450,
I know, man.
once you start, man, it is so hard to go back.
You don't want to go back.
You don't want to go back at all.
But this little off-season excursion for him might, if he does end up doing the full, it wouldn't surprise me one bit whatsoever if I don't know how many races he's doing this off-season on it. That could have been it. Two?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it goes well. It would not surprise me at all if he's not just like, yeah, I'm not going back. Because he's already on the Fox deal. And so he'll be the only 250 star guy, which I guess isn't that big of a deal.
Well, he's out of 450 truck and everything. Like his deal, like so Rich, the team manager over there, the 450 team, one of my good buddies.
Oh, yeah, your guy.
He's under that.
He's awesome.
Wing. Yeah, Rich is great. He's under that wing now. So, like, if he does race 250, he's out of that truck. He's got his own gear deal. Rich is his team manager. So, I don't know. I just think it's going to be – I'm not going to speculate whether he's at Anaheim 1 or not, but I do know that it's really, really difficult. Once you get on a 450 and start learning it and how fun it is, like the capabilities on a 450 are so much more than a 250 just because what you can do. You have enough power to do anything you want. Or a 250, you're limited. And I want to see what he can do with that power. And once you get that in your hand, it's like, I don't want to give that up. I want to keep experimenting with what I can do. And I'm sure Hayden's kind of feeling that right now.
And I can tell you one thing. For somebody as ambitious as Hayden, there's not a lot of guys. I don't really use that word too much when talking about racers, but there's not a lot of guys that see themselves with a chance to be the best in the world or like maybe the best ever. And Hayden is a guy that can see himself that. Like not a lot of guys. I could never really. There was times, I guess. There were definitely times, but consistently, that's a hard thing to do, JB. It's a hard thing to do. Is imagine yourself being the baddest dude in the world on a dirt bike and seeing yourself there. That's to me. That's such any sport, anybody. You have to be able to see that. You have to be able to see that clearly. And Hayden does. I really think Hayden does. And there's something unfulfilling, something that starts to be unfulfilling about winning in the 250 class.
Yeah.
Because you race the 450 class, you get done with that night of racing and you win. You're the best in the world on that night. You cannot say the same thing when you win the 250 class. You can't. There's more to go. So has he already won enough to where he's over it? Like he would rather have the challenge. Of course, he's got a higher risk of losing. But I think, I've seen a lot. I follow social media. You try to pay attention to what people are saying. And, of course, it's natural to compare him to Jet or whatever. But one thing I will say is that if Jet got on a 450, and try to follow me here, folks. If Jet got on a 450 and was racing Jet now, experienced Jet, couple years in the 450 class, young rookie Jet wouldn't win. So let's pump the brakes on the whole Deegan's going to get on a 450 and beat Jet right away. Like it's probably not going to happen, but it shouldn't happen. And we probably shouldn't have those expectations. We got to give the kid some time. Like I get it, he's not scared to say how he's feeling, and it's natural to kind of draw up a rivalry of two of the kind of biggest guys in the sport. But let's give him some time, JB. But, dude, I would really love to see him on a 450 all year. Let's just do it, man.
Yeah.
Let's just do the thing. We get it. Maybe we can get together, get the AMA to just to give him the 250 title.
In the record books?
Without even racing.
Yeah.
That way we could just get primetime viewership for 2026. But, yeah, it was a great weekend for Deeks.
I don't know what I want. The more suspense and build up for 2027 A1 and kind of see him throughout the summer, or if I want like this, because we're not going to know until like the week of or 2 weeks before. So I don't know if I want that or like the ultimate build up, so I don't know. But for him, look, it can be, this is exactly how his 250 career started. He wasn't supposed to start on the East Coast. He did futures. Nope. He didn't do well. And they're like, I'm just going to line up and learn. And remember that whole season, they're like, we're just learning. Oh, we're pretty good. We're better than we thought. We're just learning. So they could play that card. And with how Hayden's talking, he's starting to play that card a little bit of like, looked up to these guys, which is all true. I don't think he's like,
no, I don't think so
about
either.
that. I truly think he is excited to be there. And there's something about racing these guys. I mean, he's going to be lining up with Eli Tomac. Like he's been watching Eli Tomac for 10, 15
literally
years.
Since he was on a 50. Yeah. Eli Tomac was winning premier class races when Hayden Deegan was on a 50.
Yeah,
it's
crazy
insane
to think that. Yeah. So I do think he's genuine there. Now, could they start at Anaheim and just say, look, we're here to learn, kind of eat his humble pie a little bit, show up? Is Jet going to be better in 2027 than he is in 2026? Probably. So why not just start racing him now? And then I think the one question that I ask myself is, if Hayden starts racing Supercross in 2026 on a 450, would he be better at Anaheim 1 in 2027 if he raced Supercross in 26 or if he waited?
I'll tell you why he will.
He would be better, correct?
I'll tell you, yeah, and I'll tell you why he'd be better. There's some guys mentally that are used to winning so much that cannot handle losing whatsoever. That it would beat them down. It would be too much to overcome. It would take too much energy, or they would go out there and make silly decisions because they were behind, because they're not winning. But Hayden is not the type of kid that needs to go out and win on the weekends to have confidence in his ability. He could go get his ass kicked 5 times in a row, and he's still going to think the 6th time is going to be the time where it's my turn. Yeah. That's just the way he is. That's the way he's built, and that's his biggest superpower. And that, to me, is why he should just go ahead and at least do, and I think this is going to happen. I think even if he does race the 250 championship, I think he's going to ride some races on a 450 in America and Supercross.
Yeah.
I do.
I do too. I think he will, and I hope he does. But, I mean, if that's the thing, it's so difficult because if then he's going to be on a 450 now, let's just say he races A1 on a 450, but he's planning to go back to the 250, I just don't see him going back. Then he spent so much time on the 450, and I'm sure he'll do well. Like, let's say he does the first 4. There's going to be 1 or 2 in there where there's like a glimpse of like, hey, man, I almost won that race, or hey, I had a lap time here. There's always something you can take out of it positive. And I just think you keep building.
I want to give a shout out to somebody else that raced this weekend, and I thought looked really good. Christian Craig, dude. It's had a really, really tough. He had that great year on Star in the 250 class, won the Supercross championship in 2022, I believe. 2022?
Not sure. Something like that. Right around there.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Went to Husqvarna, injuries. I think he had something going on with his arm for a while. Was working with Hayden last year. That didn't work out. Like, Christian has been through so much in his career, and I got a lot of respect for anybody that keeps coming back, keeps putting in the work, stays up. I thought he looked really good. And I think, we were talking before we started this podcast, I really do think Christian Craig can be of revelation in 2026. Look, he's not going to go out there and be a podium guy, most likely. But he can be a guy, he can be a 5 to 10 guy. I really, truly believe that. There's not a lot of people out there. He reminds me of Josh Hansen a lot. in terms of riding style, talent on the motorcycle. There's not a lot of people that can do the things that Christian Craig can do on a bike and make it look. Christian Craig makes me want to ride dirt bikes, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Because it looks fun. It looks really fun. I would love to see Christian. He's a good dude. I'd like to see him have a good year.
Well, like we've talked about with a lot of these moves and is people. And I know Yuriv Konski very, very well, who's the owner of that Quad Lock Honda team. He runs Honda Australia and worked with them for many years. He's going to be a match made in heaven with Christian Craig. We all know Christian's super talented, but we all know the weakness has been the mental strength. And I think Christian would say that to you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yuriv
There's
will
no
help
shame
with
in that either.
Yeah, there's no shame in that. Look, I've dealt with it forever. Like, there's so many riders, and the best of the best deal with it is just how you deal with it, right?
Yep.
I think Yuriv's going to be great for him. I think he's going to make Christian feel wanted, which is a big thing in our sport. Sounds stupid. You would think, oh, the team signed you. They definitely want you. Not all the time, especially when you start getting results for him right away. So I think Yuriv's going to make him feel wanted. I think he's going to embrace his family. I think he's going to say and do all the right things and get the very, very best version of Christian Craig. And I think you've already seen it in his first race with the team. You've already seen it from the very first free practice. Christian was fastest. From the videos I'm seeing, Christian can go through the whoops again.
Oh,
and
dude,
we haven't seen that
good.
since he was on a Star 250. And you're right, he was beat up, at Husky, had some injuries, and just was beat up mentally, physically, everything. And it's so hard to claw your way back. And I think doing some of these off-season races will help him claw his way back, get him some confidence, get on a team where he feels like he's a part of it and he belongs and he can get these good results for them. And I love it. I like Christian as a person. I think he's a great dude. And I think the sport is better with him in it. I do. I think the way he rides
100%.
and the person he is. And I think we've not seen the end of Christian Craig. That's for sure.
Christian Craig, also Cole Seeley, but Christian Craig, he's the one that got me into golf. First time I ever went golfing was with Cole Seeley and Christian Craig. So,
yep.
Shout out to those guys. He's good, man. He's really good on the bike. And actually, it's funny. This race, I remember. I think it was. Do I remember? I think it was Indianapolis, 2023, and I was. This was right around the time where I'm really coming to grips that nothing's changing with my arm situation. And I'm like, on my best day, I'm probably going to get 5th or 6th, which is still, as you know, very difficult to do. But I remember going to Indianapolis. I think I had a couple of races off with some type of wrist injury or something. And I didn't know anyone was behind me. I remember this big whoop section left. I remember Chase crashed on the on-off. There, Tomac had one of those weird rides. I beat Tomac somehow. He got like 8th. He was just rolling around back there. Didn't like the bike or something. But I remember I got 6th, and it was like the best 6th place I've ever had in my life. It like gave me hope again that I was decent on a dirt bike. I remember there was an interview on my social media page somewhere. I'm like basically crying after this race. Like it meant so much to me. And I didn't realize anybody was behind me on the last lap. Indy on the last lap. It's literally like a World War I battlefield, dude. It is terrible. And Christian was there. And he was on the inside, and I didn't even know he was there. I went above all the ruts in the last turn like a moron, just trying to get to the finish line. And Christian was on the inside, dude, and he could have absolutely just so easily and it wouldn't have even been that dirty. Like all he had to do was give it some gas, and he didn't clean me out. And I remember just how much that race meant to me, and the fact that I don't know. I just thought that was a cool moment. That he could have done that. He didn't do it.
Had some respect for the 9.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. And he's always been a guy. It's like there's certain guys in the pits. There's just certain guys in the pits you want to see do well, and he's just one of those guys for me. He's a good dude. He's been through a lot too. So besides that, dude,
two more things for me real quick. Two more things.
No, don't be quick, dude. Bring it in.
I gotta say, the 26 Prado, he looks pretty good, dude.
Oh, he does.
He does.
He
look good.
does. You see that quad on the Instagram story
Seen that
today?
quad, and
Quad God.
I'm telling you, anyone who wants to pull up Jorge Prado through the whoops and his technique, I don't know where he learned that from, but dude's got some skills.
Probably watch some slow-mo tape of the 10.
Dude's got some skills. And
He does. He does.
Talk about back up against the wall and something to prove and all that. I just think he looks really good on that bike. He does. And there was never a time, nothing against Kawasaki, because we just got done talking about how great Chase is going to be on it. But there was never a time where I watched him on the Kawasaki and I'm like, man, he looks good. Not one time. Not one video. Not one.
Well, didn't he have a heat
session
race?
where-
Didn't he get second in a heat race somewhere?
Come on.
Anaheim? Someone? Yeah, I thought he looked good.
No, but he whole
Anyway.
shot and was no. There just
Yeah.
wasn't a time where I'm like, and already just the videos I've seen, I'm like, man, and like the gear and the bike and I don't know, the way he looks on it, just doing that quad. Look, to jump a quad like that at a Supercross track, you have to be feeling pretty good that day.
No,
You just do.
No, that's not true. Not for me anyway. Give me a helmet.
Really? You just jump that stuff?
Give me a
without
helmet and some
feeling
flip flops. Yeah, no problem.
good? Oh, come on, dude.
You just got to have no regard for your own life, basically.
No
That
way.
was how I got through most of my career, my friend. No, I think. How big of a pay cut do you think he took a pay cut?
Oh, big.
Like heavy?
Big. I mean,
So
probably
that's
not
gotta-
heavy to you, but like a
Come
million or
on.
$1.5 million pay cut, probably that's a big deal for a guy like myself. Probably not you, but
Come on, dude. You're stupid, man.
dude, I bet he took $1 million pay cut,
That's insane.
maybe
See,
more.
my thing is, it's so difficult to define what is success for him. What is fair? What's a fair? We do this. This is just the nature of sports in general. It's the nature of sports. But like, what is success for Jorge?
I think you and I probably would agree, but I think Jorge would disagree because I think Jorge, his version of success is winning, and I don't think that's. I don't think that. I think a successful season is 5 to 10 in Supercross, and you stay healthy, and he goes and battles for
I agree.
podiums in motocross.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think he agrees with that. That's the hard part. I think he really, really
See,
can win outdoors, or thinks he can, and that's awesome. I'm glad he thinks he can.
yeah. Well, the thing is, one of the reasons why, and I've been here at times. Let's see, this is going to be, I'm trying to make a big point here, so I may just lose my train of thought. This happens from time to time. You guys know this. With Jorge, here's the problem with thinking that way. Thinking that you're a guy that can go and beat Jet and win titles over here. The problem is when you go out there and that's not happening, and sometimes not even close to happening, the gap, it feels so far away. It feels impossible. The gap can be so demoralizing that you do things like not try to qualify for an event. Right?
Exactly.
And there are sometimes, like people like me, for example, I remember feeling this way. Millville 2023. Yeah, Millville 2023. I remember feeling this. It affected my riding. It probably looked like I quit on the track. But you get so discouraged because you're so far from where you want to be that your self-talk, your inner self-talk is like, I can't even be serious. I can't take myself serious right now, you know? So it's one thing if you can see yourself as like, okay, yeah, I can be a champion. I can win races. And when that's not happening, when you're very far away from that happening, can you look at it as just as that nothing is set in stone? You're not just bad. You're not trying to look for blame. Can you just be like, I'm not there yet? And keep working, because it's a superpower to be able to see it. And I believe Jorge has that. I believe that he can genuinely see himself winning races and being one of the guys here in the States. And that's a great thing to have, but you have to be disciplined when it's not going your way. And the ego's a crazy thing, dude. When you're super far away from something, to protect yourself from that blow, you're going to be trying to naturally, you're looking for anything to offset just absolute true accountability that you aren't there yet. That's human nature. I'm not dissing anybody. Like, that's human nature. And that's why I talk about being disciplined. You have to be able to go against that in your own mind and be like, look, yeah, maybe it is a little bit of this or a little bit of that, but ultimately it's on me. And so if he can keep that mentality, but also be able to take it on the chin without getting too discouraged, I mean, that could lead to him. He's definitely, I think for sure he's going to win some races here at some point. I don't know about Supercross, but outdoors, playoffs maybe. Like, I think I could see Jorge Prado being a winner over here. Maybe not this year. But again, you know me, I love to talk about mental stuff because I've been through about every mental thing you could possibly go through in the sport. I think you're pretty close to right there with me.
Yeah, I just
but
think
yeah, it's a good fit for him. Back where he's comfortable.
Yeah. And we'll see him at his at his best, what he thinks is his best, which is the only thing that you really want for a guy, is to be on a bike that he's comfortable on and feel like he can get the most out of himself. I just think it's going to be a building block, and the most difficult part is the first 17 races of the year. They're Supercross.
Who has more points? Who has more points at the end of 31 rounds, Garrett Marchbanks or Jorge Prado?
It's actually that's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
That's a good one because I mean, Prado in motocross for sure. I think if Prado's healthy in motocross and he's there, I think he's
Podium
really
guy.
good. I think he's on the podium a lot.
Yep, me too.
But it's the first 5 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And how can you be okay with getting 8th and 9th? And honestly, him and Garrett will probably battle a lot in Supercross too if Jorge's feeling good and he's healthy.
One of the things beyond results, what I'm interested in seeing with Jorge is if he even cares, but about the whole public relations thing, because, blue collar dirt bike fans, really anybody that's the dream, is to be racing dirt bikes for a living, right? Like our audience has probably dreamed of going out and opening ceremonies and doing this. And so when you see somebody, I dreamed of that. Yeah. I also dreamed of that. But I'm saying, I think as a fan, and you guys could tell us this or not, I think it's difficult to root for just the way it went down with Jorge this year, like him kind of, blame it, just the way that he came across. It's difficult for our fans to back that. And I think he made a lot of people not like him. And so I'm interested to see if he can reverse that, because I do believe that Jorge is a good dude. Like, I do. I really do believe that he is a good dude and he means well. And really, it's just bad stuff happened this year. He made some bad decisions. We're all human. It happens. But can he turn it around? Because people loved him, man. Before this year, people loved him. Like all us, the American fans, you tell me if I'm wrong, but everybody felt like really embraced it, was really happy and appreciative that he was coming over here. It's going to be a big add to our series. So I would like to see, him win the fans back over, because I do believe that, he's a good person. He's a good dude. He's a great racer. And so I'd love to see him just get it back on the right track, because he can add a lot to our series. There's no doubt.
No question, yeah. But there's definitely no question he does have some rebuilding to do. Absolutely.
He does.
Yeah,
he does.
Last thing before we get into some fan questions, Ozx Open. We're in the booth. It's going to be fun.
Are we riding?
We're doing I would like to ride. Yeah, you want to ride?
Yeah, me too. Dude, the stadium, I'm staying a half a mile from the stadium and it looks legit.
Yeah. No, it's a good one.
I'm super into it.
Yeah, the track is awesome there. The venue's incredible. So let's do some riding. We're doing a live show with Steve, Pulp MX, on Friday. That's going to be a ton of fun. Steve, good friend of both of ours. And we sold out. It was like 250 or 300 people.
I know, dude.
Like a couple days, which was cool. So thank you guys for that. But excited. I fly out here in a couple days. Come join you down under. And then do some riding again. Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun.
You're gnarly. I don't know. I mean, I do know at the end of the day, we can do hard things, right? But you flying in, I get you have kids and wife at home and a massive, massive backyard to take care of. Dude. But you coming in this past, for Sydney, you're in for 3 days and then you're back. And it's not like me where I just hop on a plane from Sydney to LA and I'm home. You're Sydney to LA and then across the country again to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Dude, that is gnarly, man. You're built for it. I respect that.
Yeah, honestly, it is gnarly.
The T levels must be just
it's
through
low
the
right
roof.
now. I need some help. But
come on, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health. I got you. I'll drop you a link, dude.
Is it in is that the one in Marietta?
Oh, they're all over.
Is there a hotel close by I could stay at? A hotel close by?
Oh God, not this again, dude. Not this again.
No,
yeah, you can sleep. You can sleep with my cats. You can sleep with my cats.
Dude. I'd be sneezing. I'd be a sneezing mess. No shot. But you made a good point, dude. The reason is, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, but it is a lot of work flying back and forth. But I have a special place for that series and for OzX Open, and like it really helped me, and for Yuriv Konski and Honda Australia and that whole group. Like I feel like they really helped me in the second half of my career. That was really the launch pad, was winning 2016 Australian Supercross Championship and getting with Yuriv, and then rebuilding my relationship with American Honda, which then turned into MCR and then Factory Honda again, and then going down there every year. My family and I, it's like our second home. So Paige, my wife, is going to go down there with me. We're going to spend a week and a half down there. And I just feel like it's such a special place in my heart that if it's difficult to do a few flights, I'm willing to do it just because I feel like I owe it to the Australian fans and the community and the series. And so, yeah, I don't know if I needed to say that, but I felt like I wanted to say that. So
respect. You got away with words, my friend. Anybody ever tell you that?
Let's see what the fans had to say. Cole Beach, what did they have a way with words this week, or what kind of questions we got?
Okay, so it's been talked about a lot, but hydraulic versus cable, both of your personal experiences with either and your reflections on Eli's comments for why cable is better in certain scenarios.
Well, JB, I'll start here. I was riding the bike in Sydney. And we were riding on press day, and I was looking down at my clutch. I felt it a little bit, and I asked the question: Did Kawi have a hydraulic clutch in 2024 when I was racing? Because I didn't even know. I don't know.
Oh my God!
I don't even know, dude. Whatever.
Wow.
I don't need. All I have to do is be able to put the bike in gear to get the whole shot. So.
Yeah, I just think it's something familiar to him. I mean, I don't know specifically. Eli was probably said in one of the media outlets, but I think it's something that's familiar to him. I think he rides the clutch a lot. I mean, we did see Hayden Deegan go through 2 hydraulic clutch setups, burnt them both out, went to a cable clutch, and it worked just fine and lasted the whole race. So I have a feeling we'll probably see Hayden even on a cable clutch potentially. And he uses the clutch a lot. So I think guys that abuse the clutch, is just more difficult to abuse a hydraulic clutch. I just think it smokes a little bit easier. I don't know.
You think a hydraulic clutch smokes easier?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that would be the only. I don't know. The feel, the feel to me on a hydraulic clutch is like it itself. It does feel different. The consistency of the pull feels different. But to me, how you can control the power with the clutch seems pretty similar to me. I do think some people say that a hydraulic clutch is a little bit more off or on, meaning like high rev to clutch fully let out. Like there's that middle ground that's not really there. I don't know.
The only thing that I would search for, and this is just maybe this is part of it, but the one thing in a clutch, I was just really picky with the engagement point. Where is the engagement point? Oh, yeah, definitely. And so maybe the engagement point's just a little different on the cable. So
it's cool.
But a lot of hydraulic clutches are different too. Maybe he'll like the hydraulic clutch on the KTM potentially. We'll see.
It's cool. It's cool how the Lawrence brothers run their clutch like really close to the bar pad, so their fingers are on the edge of the clutch. So you have more. They have a little bit more of that kind of area to work with to be able to control the power. Pretty cool. Doesn't have anything to do with our question, but
yeah. I can't slide them over that far with the twin walls. You know, I ain't running that
Oh,
much stuff.
oh
shot.
God! Actually, you know what? You're gonna have to finish these fan questions by yourself. I'm leaving.
All right, so we're going to combine kind of two. So, how difficult is it for a rider to switch teams and do these off-season races and still have time to prepare for A1? And then this other question is, so when these riders are deciding to change teams, like take Chase for example, like is he asking Jason the characteristics of the bike, or do they ask the team? Like, how do they get an idea of what the bike's going to be like? Do they do these secret test ride days? What is it all about?
JB, I never switched teams.
For sure. Yeah, the first part is pretty easy. The off-season races, there are certain teams that are in favor of them, and there's certain teams that absolutely no. And I would say the biggest difficulty of all of it, we witnessed it last year with American Honda and Jet and Hunter. They did a bunch of off-season races. They had a new motorcycle. They had new parts and pieces with suspension, and they struggled bad at Anaheim 1. And that was just purely because they were on an airplane all off season, racing all over the place, and they thought they were okay, and they were behind the 8 ball. Now, this year with a year-old bike, or let's just say a bike that's not changing, whatever manufacturer you're on, I'm a big fan of the off-season races. People know this. I literally made a career out of myself racing off-season races. And so I just think about where you're at. You know, you talk to a guy like Ricky Carmichael, he never did them. He's the greatest of all time. I was never in a situation where I was going to come in and win a Supercross championship. So I wanted to collect as much money and get as much notoriety as I could throughout the off season. So everybody's a little different. You know, Adam, for you, this is actually one thing we were talking about before we got on here is you never really did many of them. And I was wondering, like, do you regret that? Obviously, you could have made another $2 or $3 million probably throughout your career doing them. But was it just a team? Was it yourself? You just didn't feel like doing them? You obviously, most championships you came into, you were one of the favorites. So did that hinder it?
Well, I think my first experience doing an off-season race, our guy, Eric Pernard, great dude, fellow New Smyrna Beach, Florida guy.
Awesome guy.
He hooked me up to go to Geneva going into my second year of Supercross. And I went there and I just absolutely grenaded myself. One of the worst crashes, maybe the only time flying through the air where I thought maybe this is the end. Like it was really bad. Head first onto the concrete. Not good at all. So that kind of soured the whole deal from Mitch's side of things, Kawi's side of things, like me going over there and doing that, really set us back. So I didn't even really entertain any offers after that. And then I think most of the time it's if you're healthy and you're able to race years and years and years back to back to back, you get this big base underneath you. And that allows, like what we just talked about, Chase in Hawaii or the Lawrence brothers doing all the off-season races last year. It allows you to boot camp or whatever, building fitness up becomes far less important. For me, I thought a lot of the time I was coming back from something. I was trying to build back into form, or I had a surgery on my shoulder or this or that. So I think a big part of it is staying healthy. And I think, yeah, just a lot of the off seasons I was nursing an injury or trying to get healthy. But I do think even if I was healthy, I think I always put so much pressure on myself to be good in the races that I'm contracted to do that I just really didn't want to put more on my plate, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like
Makes sense, yeah.
I get it. And you know, you guys like yourself go over to Paris, go to Australia, and you talk about how much fun it is and how much fun you have. I don't think my mindset, there was a lot of years I was racing where I don't think I was super capable of letting myself relax like that. A lot of you guys talk about going to these off-season races and feeling a more relaxed atmosphere. I wasn't super confident in myself that I could go over there and do that I could let myself kind of relax. Surely, if I had stayed healthier and there was more experience, more races under my belt, I think I would have got to a place to where I would have started doing that kind of maybe towards the end of my career had it gone on longer. But I love it. I think we talk about it, but there's way more talent in the sport than there is money, and any avenue that riders can find to make a living racing dirt bikes, I think is fantastic. And so I love the off-season races. I love it. Keeps the fun going.
Mm-hmm. What was the second part of that, Cole?
When switching teams, how do any riders like communicate to each other about how the bike character is?
You've got your little cliques, right?
Yeah.
JB, you got your guys like, I don't know, I'm sure Chase talked to Levi Kitchen, and Levi Kitchen's been on a Kawi 450 here and there. I'm sure they chatted about it a little bit, but ultimately I think riding is such a personal thing, like the way that you feel on the bike. I mean, there are some mutually agreed upon characteristics of all the motorcycles, I'm sure. But to each their own, I mean, Chase could get on the same bike Jorge was riding and love it and go and win on it. Like, that's just the way it goes, I think. So it's more about just getting there, getting the experience. But in general, I think a day before, Chase, I'm sure, rode the Kawi a long time before we knew about it. But I think he already knew some of the characteristics of the motorcycle. I don't think anybody is making a change without riding the bike, JB. Is that? Yeah, I mean, it's secret. It's not allowed in your contract. But there's no shot that Chase would have made a move that big without riding the bike first.
Yeah, and I think you do make a phone call or two. And a lot of times you can just see by watching.
Yeah.
I mean, Chase can see by watching a Kawasaki or wherever he's going, or Eli's watched the KTM. So, yeah, there's definitely talk, but, yeah, not to a huge extent. Yep.
Sorry, JB. It's long-winded with that one.
Yeah, last one since it is past 11 p.m. for JB
here.
Trying to get on Australia time. We're good.
AC, what are 3 favorite things about Australia and one thing that hasn't lived up to JB's hype?
Well, let me start here. I was very excited to hold a koala. Ashley and I made a trip to the Australian Zoo up near the Sunshine Coast, JB's second home.
Oh, great spot.
And booked this experience. We're stoked to get to hold a koala. The thing pooped on me, man.
No way.
Yeah, oh yeah, pooped on me, man. And like one of my nice shirts too. Yeah, straight pooped. I don't know if it forgot to take its probiotic or what. But that's the only thing that maybe hasn't lived up to the hype. What was the other part of the question?
3 favorite things.
3 favorite things. Well, how nice people are.
Yeah.
Has been awesome. Like, I am like an empath. I feel people's feelings. Like, I'm like very compassionate most of the time against my will. Like, I take people's emotions on. And when people are kind to me, I think that I get in these environments where it really allows me to be myself. And that's very, like, it's just fun. It's easy to be present. So that's great. Just the way the community has been, the people have been. And dude, the coffee. Wow.
I was hoping.
Wow. I mean, I'm like 3 lattes a day right now. Just cracked out of my mind, dude. Cracked out of my mind.
What?
That's been great.
Yeah. You have one more, and then I'm going to question about the coffee there.
One more?
What's your third one?
What is my third one?
The beaches.
I would love to say the golf courses, the beach. I don't know. I'm not like the food has been good, but I'm not really like I don't love to eat food.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of just eat to live, and I do appreciate a good meal. Don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't really get me up. Like, I'm not like super motivated to go find a super nice restaurant. Maybe that's weird. It's kind of like you in movies, how you'd say that you can't watch anything unless it's a documentary or whatever, you weirdo. That's my.
You haven't been DoorDashing, have you?
We DoorDashed one time.
Okay.
One time, and it was the other night. We got back late, but we've been going out.
And the coffee thing, like, why can't we do that here?
I don't know.
Why can't we do
let me
that
say
here
this.
in the United States of America?
everything. I got sour Skittles in the cabinet, and there's like no artificial coloring in them, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Mhm.
That's nice. It's nice. It is nice to snack on sour Skittles like every evening without, feeling like I'm giving myself diabetes.
I never eat. I'm not like a candy guy, more of a chocolate guy or like ice cream. But their gummy worms, this sounds stupid. They call them snakes. Are so
Twin
good.
snakes?
Are so good. And no artificial flavoring. Like I bought a pack in Sydney in the airport, dude. Snakes. They're gummy worms. I bought a pack. I would never do that here.
Wow. That is
Yep.
big for you, dude. That's personal growth.
That's it.
That's awesome, man. No,
Yep.
in general, it really has lived up to the hype, man. Like I don't really feel like I'm in a super foreign place. Like I said, the people have been great. I love the event that we did in Sydney. Like just a really Adam Bailey, everybody, like just a very well done event. Everybody's super professional, organized. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any complaints. We've been having the time of our lives over here. We're bummed. We only have like a week left. So we're really going to live it up. I told Ashley, I'm like, we're not really drinkers. We don't really, I'll have like a beer here and there. But I did tell her, I said, we're going to have a good time one of these nights before we leave. Like we're going to have a really good time. So hopefully I'll have some stories for the live podcast on Friday.
Nice.
That's it.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to get back down there.
Hey, you're awesome, dude. It's like 11:30 where you are right now. Easy for me. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. You're the MVP on this one. Let's give a round of applause for Justin Braden, folks.
No.
Unbelievable.
We had to get this one in. There was
Yeah,
too
we
much
did.
to talk about. We took a few weeks off. We're rested up, ready to go.
We're coming in hot in 2026 too.
Oh yeah.
We got a lot of things. We got a lot of things coming up. A lot of
There's
fun
some
little
stuff cooking.
announcements coming up. Yo, we got some stuff in the kitchen, folks. We're gonna do it up. Maybe, who knows? Maybe one of these days I won't have a white wall behind me. Can't tell you when. Can't tell you how. But we're the budget's going. So we appreciate everybody hanging in there. Yeah, I haven't had too many shows this off season, but we felt like we had to get one in. And then, yeah, dude, live show next week. I'm excited. JB, thank you, dude. You're awesome.
See you soon, brother. We'll see you soon.
Later, folks.